Breaking news! As we approach the November 5th trade deadline, tensions are rising behind the scenes for the Baltimore Ravens, and it's hard to ignore the buzz surrounding potential big moves for our team. Today, I need to talk to you about some trade rumors and moves that could throw the Baltimore Ravens off course. I also need to talk about a piece of news that I admit has me worried, but anyway, let's move on. Before we go any further, make sure you've hit the like button if you believe we're going to make it to the Super Bowl this season. I totally believe in it, and I hope John Harbaugh can lead our team there. So let's get to the point. We need to talk about Budda Baker, the Arizona Cardinals' standout safety. Would it be a good idea to bring him in to bolster the Ravens? Now, let me tell you, adding Baker to our secondary could be a game changer. Imagine the duo of Budda Baker and Kyle Hamilton patrolling the backfield together. According to NFL analysts, Baker's physicality and leadership could transform our defense, providing that much-needed edge in communication and intensity. He embodies the "play like a Raven" mantra, bringing the competitive spirit we need as we look to make a deep playoff run. However, this is where things get tricky. The Ravens currently have $4.1 million in salary cap space, which makes it a challenge to fit Baker's hefty contract into the cap. But fear not, there are ways around this. The Ravens could restructure contracts or even trade with Arizona to cover some of Baker's salary in exchange for a more favorable draft pick package. It's a puzzle, but one that could be worth solving. Now let's talk about the numbers. Budda Baker has had an impressive career, and this season he has racked up 67 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflection. While he had a down year last season, his past performance has shown that he can be a dominant force on the field. With the Ravens' current safety situation a concern, many fans agree that Baker could be the missing piece to help propel Baltimore toward the Super Bowl. But that's not all. Another name that's making waves is Garrett Wilson, the talented wide receiver for the New York Jets. While this connection has come as a surprise to many, it's worth discussing. Wilson is an incredible talent, having put up solid numbers in his young career. However, there's skepticism as to whether the Jets would actually trade him. They just added Davante Adams and seem committed to building their offense. It's hard to see them parting ways with a player like Wilson when they believe they can still make the playoffs. So what does all of this mean for the Ravens? The consensus seems to be Budda Baker as the most beneficial addition, especially with our current defensive needs. But we want to hear from you, Ravens fans. What do you think? Would you rather see the team make a move for Budda Baker to bolster our defense? Or do you believe Garrett Wilson could be the key to unlocking our offense? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team BB or Team GW? This is your chance to voice your opinions and join the conversation. As we prepare for what could be an exciting few weeks, let's come together as a fan base. Hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest Ravens news and join us for game day watch parties. Together, we can continue to support our team as they strive for greatness. Thanks for tuning in, and let's keep the conversation going. Now let's get to the sad news. We've got some real ups and downs to talk about today on the injury front. Just as things were looking bright with some players returning, we've hit a few setbacks that could impact our upcoming games. First up, let's talk about Marlon Humphrey. Now we saw Marlon leave during the game against the Bucs, and it was tough watching him head to the locker room. With a quick turnaround from Monday night's game to Sunday's matchup with the Browns, it's no surprise to see Marlon on the sidelines. And even though it's always hard to lose a player of his caliber, this might be the game to sit him out, especially since we're looking at the long haul here. Having Marlon fresh and ready later in the season is going to be crucial, and we don't want to take any chances by rushing him back too soon. Now let's get to Zay Flowers. If you saw Zay leave with that hip drop tackle, you know why we were all on edge. Thankfully, he came back in the game, but now it seems like that ankle might be nagging him a bit more than we initially thought. Zay's missed a couple of practices this week, and you know Coach Harbaugh usually waits until Friday before making a final call. But if Zay misses Friday's practice, that's generally a bad sign for Sunday. We're hoping that resting him this week will do the trick and get him ready to bring his signature explosive plays. It's not just any ankle. This is Zay Flowers we're talking about, and those ankles are a big part of his game, helping him break those defenders' ankles every chance he gets.
Switching gears, there's some good news. Arthur Mollett and Jalen Armour-Davis are back in the mix after missing time, which gives us some solid depth in the secondary. Armour-Davis practiced in full, so it looks like he'll be ready to go on Sunday, and Mollett's return is another welcome sight. We'll need every bit of help against the Browns' passing game, and these guys stepping up could make a real difference. But the news isn't all great. We've got a bit of a situation with Travis Jones. Although he was limited in practice, reports are saying he just didn't look like himself. Watching him struggle out there wasn't easy, especially since Travis has been making an impact this season. If he's not 100%, his presence on the field might be limited, even if he does suit up. And we're not done yet. There's Rasheen Ali to consider. The past couple of practices have seen him on the sidelines, and it's looking likely he'll be placed on injured reserve. With Keaton Mitchell returning soon, Ali's absence may not shake up our offensive lineup too much, but it's a hit to our depth. And with TJ Tampa not practicing either, the the secondary is taking hits even as we're getting players back. So we've gained some ground with Mollett and Armour Davis, but we're losing it with Tampa and potentially Humphrey. It's one step forward, two steps back right now. So where does this leave us? This weekend, it looks like we'll be counting on guys like Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, and Ardarius Washington to carry the load in our secondary. These guys need to be at the top of their game. We'll see if Coach has them working on those interception drills. Because if ever there was a time to lock down that backfield, it's now. Stevens had a tough game against the Bucks, getting picked on by their offense, and he'll have a lot to prove against the Browns. If he can step up, it'll make things easier for the whole unit. But if we're being honest, it feels like a game where every player on the field is going to have to bring that Ravens grit. Alright, Ravens flock, that's the latest scoop on our injury situation. With some major names questionable, it's shaping up to be a real test of depth this week. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think we should be resting these key players? Or would you push them to suit up and bring it against the Browns? And what are your thoughts on our secondary? Do you think they're ready to step up and fill these shoes? Let me know down below. On the defensive side, there's another rumor heating up. The Browns are reportedly willing to part ways with Za'Darius Smith, and the Ravens are making calls. Remember, we almost had Smith a couple of years ago before he chose another team. Could this be his return to Baltimore? And while we're at it, why not ask the Browns about Myles Garrett? He's one of the best in the league and likely unhappy in Cleveland. Pulling that off would be a long shot, but not impossible. Now, let's not forget about Derrick Henry. He's given our run game a serious boost, racking up numbers that rival any Ravens back since Lamar Jackson took over. Just because we're strong doesn't mean we can't get stronger. So, Ravens flock, what do you think about these trade rumors? Would you want to see Kupp in Baltimore? Or should we focus on boosting our defense with someone like Za'Darius or even Myles? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Kupp or Team Defense? Or maybe both? Let's discuss. It's that time, Ravens Nation. We can feel it in the air. The excitement, the anticipation, and the undeniable energy surrounding our team. As we head deeper into the season, it's clear that we have what it takes to make a run for the Super Bowl. With a powerful offense led by Lamar Jackson and a defense that's tightening up week by week, the Ravens are poised to challenge anyone in our path. The chemistry between our players is palpable, and each game showcases our relentless determination. We've got star talents like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Kyle Hamilton stepping up to elevate our game to new heights. Every week, we witness incredible plays and unwavering commitment from our guys. This is a special season, one that feels different, filled with the potential for greatness. Let's not forget the coaching staff that's been guiding us with strategy and wisdom, ensuring we're always ready for the next challenge. So let's rally behind our Ravens. It's time to show our support and believe in the journey ahead. Together, we will overcome every obstacle and chase that Lombardi trophy. Ravens fans, get ready. This year, we're making a serious run at the Super Bowl.